It's really my pleasure to share this evening with you. I remember when we started the business, one of the trainings that we did was called Nuts and Bolts, where a session of about 2 hours, our leaders will take us through the basic things that we need to learn to become successful distributors. And I remember we used to do that either every month or every 3 months of the year. We would go through a nuts and bolts session, and we would learn all the basic things that a new person needs to learn. So we would like to spend this evening with you to share with you what we think are the fundamental things you need to learn about this business in order to build a strong and successful and growing business. So without much ado, I would like to start. There are 4 sessions that we want to cover in this training. The first is called Building Your Dreams and Goals. The second part, we are going to cover how to use and retail products, because Neolight pays us for doing only 2 things: for buying products to use and retail, and recruiting other people to do the same. That is all that Neolight pays us for. So if we master this concept, if we master these ideas, or we master to do these things, you're going to be very, very successful. So the first topic I'd like to take up with you is the topic of building your dreams and your goals. What is your dream? A dream is something that you wish to achieve that you currently don't have. For example, if you have a car like that one, VW Sports, that is not your dream anymore because you already have it. If you don't have a car and that VW is your dream, put it on a dream chart. So it's the first thing I would like to recommend for everybody who is in this training session and people who have a team. Ensure that everybody in your team has a dream chart. What is a dream chart? A dream chart is a pictorial representation of the things that you want to achieve with the business. It could be money, it could be a better life for your children, it could be to buy a new home or to build a new home, it could be to buy a car. And the reason why this is important is because the way our brain is wired is that the thing that we see every day is the thing that attracts our attention. I remember when we started the business, I was driving a Toyota Corolla 1300. But then my dream was to buy an Audi A4 silver color with interior leather. And the day we bought it, I suddenly noticed that there were so many Audi cars on the road, and I was wondering, why is there so? And I discovered the psychological reason is there's something that we have in our mind regularly. We tend to notice those things. So when you have a dream or when you have a goal, you tend to notice things that help you achieve that specific goal. So I would encourage all of you, make sure you have a dream chart. Look for the picture of the dream that you want to achieve. If it's a car you want to buy, look for the model of the car you want to buy. If you want good education for your children, identify the school, go and take a picture of the school, put it on your wall. If it's money, you need to write that figure in a diary or somewhere where you see it every day. And the reason for this is you'll be able to notice things that help you to achieve that dream. So develop a dream chart. Put your dream chart on the wall. Put it somewhere where you see it every day. Okay? That's the first thing about dreams. So dreams is a sense of grandeur towards life, a sense that you want a better life. You want things that you currently don't have. But you see, it's not enough to have a dream. The next thing you need to have is a goal. What is a goal? A goal is a dream with a deadline. For example, you want to earn $10,000 a month. You need to put a date on this figure. When do you want this? When do you want this money? When do you want to earn $10,000 a month? Put a date on it, so that, for example, if you just started the business in July, don't put a date that in August 2020 you want to earn $10,000 a month. It's a bit of a challenge. So you need to be realistic about your goals, but you also need to stretch yourself so that you can actually aim higher. So the next thing is develop a goal. The first thing you need to do is you need to define your goal. What is a goal? A goal is something you're looking forward to achieve, and it's got a date. Or it's something that you do every day to develop something. Okay? And I would recommend that you need to have three sets or three aspects of your goal. The first goal I would recommend that you have is what I call identity goal. What is that? Identity goal are things like character development, relationships, to develop a drive and ambition, so that there's something about you that you develop that makes you an effective distributor. Okay, that is identity goal. The second goal is called functional goal. What is that? Functional goals are the goals that you set to help you function effectively in building your business. And there are three aspects. One is health, two is your knowledge base, and three is developing the right attitude. Let's talk a little bit about health. We've got the best supplements in the world. So I expect that you will be a very regular user of the product. Health has both three aspects: rest, exercise, and diet. Okay? You need to find time to rest your mind, rest your body. You need to find time to exercise. You need to find time, you need to select the kind of diet that you eat to give you maximum energy. Then the next functional goal is a knowledge. You see, if you're going to be effective as a distributor, you need to have knowledge about how this business is built. Because some of the people you sponsor are going to ask you questions. How do you do this? How do you prospect a person? What do you say when somebody says they don't have money? What do you say when somebody says they are too busy? So you need to have knowledge on how the business is built. So you also need to have knowledge about the products. If somebody tells you they have got high blood pressure, what product would you recommend? So it's important to attend training, listen to audio tapes, read the magazines. There's a lot of information in the Neolife product catalog about our products. So increase your knowledge of the product. The third thing about functional goal is develop the right attitude. Okay? To develop the right attitude, you need to have a big vision. Why? Because when you have a big vision, even the criticisms that you get from negative people will not affect will not affect you going forward. Because if you allow other negative people to speak into your life, you tend to get discouraged. And one of the things you use to protect yourself from negative people is to have a big dream, and also to have this dream at the fore of your mind. In fact, one of the 7 habits of highly effective distributors is to have a self-talk and visualization. Why is that important? It helps you develop the right attitude for building this business. The third type of goal is business goals. For example, what size of business do you want in a year's time, in 2 years' time? What income level do you want to achieve? So sit down and think and decide for yourself what is your goal. And I would recommend, don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to the best that you want to achieve. Some people are fast runners, some people are slow, some people are plodders. So set your own goals so that you set your own pace. Okay? And what is the strategy for achieving this goal? Number one, you need to be able to measure the goal. For example, if you want to be a director, you need at least 40 to 50 people in your team so that you become a strong director. You need to be able to measure your goals. And one of the measurements of building a business is how many people do you sponsor per month? Or how much personal PV do you have? These are simple measurement tools that would be able to give you an indication on what your goals are. And then put a time frame on the goals that you want to achieve. For example, if you want to be a sapphire director, when do you want to be a sapphire director? Put a reasonable goal. Don't say you want to be a director in 2 months, because remember, to be a sapphire director, you need to qualify at that status for at least 3 consecutive, at least for 3 months out of 6. So put a goal which stretches you a little bit, but does not discourage you because the time frame is too tight. Okay. That thing is, you need an action plan which is implementable now. Don't get into what we call analysis paralysis. You put action plans, you put them on paper, you think about it, but you don't take any action. Take action whether you are prepared or not, because when you take action, you'll make mistakes, then you correct mistakes, and you'll become a better distributor. The fourth strategy is about building your goals is you need to build reserves. What do I mean by reserves? You need to build mental reserves by reading good books and listening to audio tapes. You need to have spiritual reserves. Spend time in quiet reflection. If you're somebody who is religious, take time to pray. You need financial reserves. Financial reserve means that for any income you earn, you put aside some savings so that if some tragedy or something happens in your life, you are not powerless. You are not clueless of what is going to happen. So build financial reserve. Also build physical reserves. Have an exercise program to strengthen your body, and also build time reserves. One of the things that I have struggled with for a long time is I always underestimate, or is it overestimate? I always overestimate what I can do in a short time. But for example, if you want to be a director, don't make a goal of becoming a director in 1 month. Give yourself 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, depending on your discipline or depending on your activity. Set a goal that gives you some reserve time to achieve your goal. Okay. An example we have there is business goals. Define the goal. What is the goal? To become a sapphire director. That is, reach 10,000 PV for 3 consecutive months. By when? 30th April 2021. How? You need to build between 120 and 150 distributors in your team, and also build 3 directors in your group. Then you'll be sure that you'll become a sapphire director. Okay, so that is an example of how to set up a goal. The plan. What is the plan to become a sapphire director? First is you need to build a team. How do you build a team? Write a list of 100 people. 2, show the plan to 2 people daily. And the target is to do a 3 in 30. If you do 3 in 30 regularly, you're going to be a sapphire director within 12 to 15 months. Okay? Then set aside 2 to 3 hours daily to show the business to people, either to prospect or to follow up on the ones whom you have prospected. Write your goals and read them morning and evening. And the reason for this is when you read your goals daily, they tend to stick in your mind, and it will help you overcome negative thinking people. And then service 4 customers weekly. If an average customer buys, let's say, 12 to 15 PV, if you do 4 customers a week, that's already 60 PV. In a month, you'll have at least 250 points. So serve a specific number of customers in a week so that you have your goal that you achieve at the end of the month. Now that we've discussed how to do goal setting, I want to hand over to Betty to do with you product usage and retailing, so that we get to the next part of our training.
Good evening. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be with you again this evening. I hope the month is going along very well. And you'll remember, I think we did notify you that this is actually for the new distributors, whom I want to give a very special welcome to our team and to our session. You have done a very good thing to join the Neolife business. And this is a business that allows you to have a say in what your future is going to be. So our business, first of all, I would like to tell you, is in the giving a caring service to people. We have to take care of people. Ourselves as the first people, because the first members of your team is yourself, you maybe, and your partner, if you have got one, and then the other people whose lives you're going to touch with the business. So we also need to understand that everyone we meet has a need for what we have to offer in Neolife. Our responsibility is to find out what it is that they need so that we can offer them the right thing. Now, as Pascal told you, my topic is to talk about using and retailing products. You know that these are the foundations of the way we do business. We ourselves, in fact, the topic, I think I would just call it retailing, because when you become a Neolife distributor, the first thing is that you have to be your own good customer. That means that you're going to use the products yourself. And by using the products, it gives us an opportunity to experience the Neolife products ourselves, making it easy for us to recommend them to other people. And people get more confident when they realize that we also are using the products. It would be odd if we recommend products to people which we ourselves are not using. So, in using the products, I wanted to give an example of how we can start the usage if we are on a very tight budget. And I like to do this because when we started the business ourselves, we were very broke. We were new in Pretoria. We had a young family growing, and money was very, very tight. So we needed to be very careful about how we organize ourselves so that we'd be able to buy the products. So the first thing I would say is that you need to look at two ranges, I think, in your first month on a tight budget. Of course, if your budget is not so tight, it means that you can spend more than what I'm going to say. So as someone on a tight budget, I would recommend that you look at getting two products from the cleaning range. That is LDC and Care. Why these two? Because with these two products, you are going to be able to take care of most of your cleaning and sanitization needs in the house. So I'm saying this to you as a distributor or to you as a sponsor of a new distributor, how you can help them to start using the product. So if you buy LDC and some spray bottles, then you can mix the LDC, and LDC you can use for cleaning dishes in the kitchen. You can use it for showering. You can use it for washing your hair even. You can use it for the general cleaning around the house. And then with Care, you can use it for cleaning the toilet and the bathroom. And you can also use it for simple sanitization at home. Okay, so with those two, you can take care of almost all your home cleaning things apart from laundry. So the only cleaning thing you may need to add is maybe a laundry powder, which can come in that month if the budget allows it, or you build up to it. Then after getting LDC and Care and some spray bottles, I find that spray bottles are good because they are economical, since you just spray the amount you want. Sometimes, especially if you've got house help and you're using a mixing bottle, they overpour, and you may find that the wastage makes you use the product a bit too quickly. And remember, if you're on a tight budget, we want to be able to stretch the products at least as far as it can go to make it possible for us to get the economy from it. Then we look then on the supplement side, because as Pascal said, we need to, one of our goals is to take care of our health and to build health reserves. Why? Because many of us, when we start the business, we started part-time or as a second job or as a side hustle, that you've got already something that you're doing, and Neolife is going to be another extra thing, which means you're going to be demanding more energy from yourself. You are going to be demanding more time, of course, and you need to be very effective and efficient in your work, which means that the supplements are going to be an important addition to your lifestyle. So the first product I think I would recommend is 3NN 120. This is a nice size because the capsules are enough at least for more than one person in the family for a month. And also you can take a few as samples to give prospective people that maybe you think this is likely to be a customer, but they're a bit hesitant. They might want to maybe try a few capsules and so on. So for that, I like 3NN 120s as a product to have on a tight budget for using. And then for a family person, I would also say you buy Vita Squares for the children so that at least the family starts to use nutritional supplements. And again, Vita Squares, you get 180 tablets in a bottle, which means that it can cover 2 or more children. And also you can take a few as samples if, let's say, you want to sell to someone or you want to recommend to someone and they want to sample the products, okay? So those I think would be the at least the minimum that we should try. And if we add up those, it comes to about 67 points that you'll be using in your own house, in your personal capacity. Then from there, of course, we don't just say that you stay with your 67 point. Our target is to go to a minimum of 100, possibly 200 or even 300. So over and above that, from the TNN that you have that maybe you are giving some people to try out, you can then go get some orders, in which case maybe you can invest in buying another small TNN, or you can buy another Vita Square and so on. So the extra points above those 67 will come from people who you recommend the products to and they order for you. Remember, in our training, we always discourage people just going willy-nilly and buying all the products and tying up a lot of their money in the product. This is not the way. You buy the product that you need to use in your own house, and then you buy products according to the orders that people give you. So we don't say that you go and buy a case of this and a box of that, and you pile up products in your house, and then now you go through the stress of trying to sell them, look for people to buy them. No, what we say is get the products you need to use, then start looking for people who would like either to look at the business opportunity, as Pascal talked about prospecting, and he'll talk a bit more about that afterward, after I finish this topic. And then you will be ordering products according to fulfill orders that you have from your customers. Okay, so in retailing, so of course, this, as I said, what I was speaking about before is for someone who is on a very tight budget that will not have a lot to spend. So if you are in the same situation that I said we were in when we started the business, you need to budget for using some product. Don't simply say that we'll only sell, because sometimes people say they'll even sell the product that they get in their kit so that they recoup their money. No, the products that you get in the kit should be for you to start experiencing the products. And you can maybe give a sample, put a few in an envelope, a small envelope, to give as samples to people who you think might be your prospective customers. But don't just focus on selling everything. You need to experience the products because they will benefit you and your household, but also they'll give you the experience and the confidence to be able to recommend them to other people. So as a new distributor, that is an important thing to keep in mind. So look at your house budget and set aside something set aside what you require in order to buy some products to use. Then we go on to retailing. And the first thing I would like to say about retailing is that as a new distributor, you maybe before you had been a customer, because some people start as customers and later they become distributors. But whether you are a customer or not, you need, once you become a distributor, it becomes very important that you start being familiar with our products, which means that you need to read about the products in the publications that we have or online and so on, and understand why it is that our products are special. So you know that we often have people asking us, but why should I pay such an amount for your product? They have got a similar thing that is costing so and so. We need to understand what it is that we are offering that makes it worthwhile to pay more than what you'd get with the cheaper products. This is because our supplements, for instance, are concentrated foods. So they are actually foods that you would eat that are made into a concentrate. So they are not just manufactured chemicals that are put together and given to you. When it is a concentrated food, it means that our bodies can recognize them as food and use them and benefit from them. Then in our cleaning products, we know that they are all concentrates, which means that we dilute them, and they are also environment friendly and non-toxic. That is another benefit. So as a new distributor, in experiencing the products, you need to also become familiar with them and educate yourself about them. Then the next thing in retailing is to cultivate the skill of positioning yourself and also of listening. When I say positioning yourself, I mean that you can't stay where you are and expect the people to come to you. You need to make a habit and a practice of being in places. Of course, now I'm happy to hear that in Kenya, they have lifted up most of the regulations, so you are able to travel more. And probably as things go on, you'll be able to move about more, which means that you can now think about how to position yourself. Where can you place yourself so that you would be in a position to meet the kind of people you want to bring into your business, or to communicate to them the products that we have on offer that can benefit them. Then apart from positioning itself is not enough. A second skill is listening. A lot of times as a new distributor, and I can say this because it was also the same with me, I was very excited when we started the business to see what products we had. And especially as probably, maybe because you are new, you may not know about it, but some of the older distributors know that we have got a son who has got sickle cell anemia. So since it's an incurable illness which takes a lot of toll on the body, I was very happy to hear that some of those products could help him in improving his health. And the temptation sometimes when you are a new distributor is to keep on talking and talking and getting very excited and trying to get someone to buy everything, because of course the products are all very good and beneficial. But I want to caution you that a more important skill to develop as a new distributor is a skill of listening. So rather than talking more, speak in a way that encourages the person in front of you to open up to you and to tell you what is going on with them. Because when they tell you what is going on with them, then it is that you're going to offer them the right thing. If you keep on talking and talking and talking, they become overwhelmed with what you have to say, and they feel like it's too much, and most of the time they may just close up and tell you maybe they need time to think about it, because you have talked and talked and just overwhelmed them with information. On the other hand, if you talk maybe asking guiding questions and listening to the answers, then they will feel that you are hearing what they have to say, and when you respond, you will be responding to what it is that they are concerned with. So sometimes you can make a mistake that you talk to someone about the products a lot. Meanwhile, what they need is for you to tell them about the business. But because in the excitement of everything, you ended up telling them all these things about the products, they start thinking that maybe the business is not for them. So please pay careful attention to the importance of listening. Yes, we have to speak in order to open the doors, and then we need to speak in a way that guides the conversation towards the other person giving us the information about themselves and about what it is they need. Then we are able to know what to offer them. Then another important thing is to start being in the habit of looking for clues about the possible budget of the person in front of you. I always say that one of the ways in which we lose customers is by offering either what the person does not want or offering too much so that they become discouraged and overwhelmed. Let's say they tell you they have high blood pressure, and then you tell them they can take omega-3, 3, and then formula 4, they can take multimineral, they can take Pro-Vitality, Nutri-Shake, and so on. You give them a list of 10 products. What ends up happening, they think about the 10 products and they think about the money they need to spend, and they decide maybe they are not ready. On the other hand, if you listen carefully and you gauge what their budget might be or what it is that they're looking for, you will then be able to target your recommendation to what they can manage. And by so doing, you then be able to make a better sale. Maybe you would not be able to sell all 10 products that you are hoping to sell, but maybe you get a customer who will every month be buying 3 products. This is better than overwhelming the person and chasing them away, or asking them to buy 10 products and then they feel like they can't continue buying from you. And remember, each month we start from 0, which means we need to have customers who will come back to us every month. Okay, then Another thing that is important in retailing is learning the relevance of our products for different things. And this, of course, we have been, for those of you who are not very new, you know that we are now trying that every Thursday training, we have a few questions about products and possible ways in which we can recommend products, which makes it a bit easier for us to be familiar with the lifestyle illnesses that can benefit from our nutritional supplements and so on. So I would encourage you to be participating in the Thursday training by listening and also by asking questions. We don't mind if you ask a question over and over. We'll try to answer them each time, even if it has been asked previously. If it is your question, you feel free to ask it again so that you see the relevance of our product. Because once you know that you have the products are relevant to the needs of the people around you, again, it becomes easier for you to recommend and to sell the product. So for example, we can have products like, do we have products for ladies who are expecting? Yes, we have products for ladies who are expecting. We can offer them Formula 4, vitamin B. We can offer them omega-3, multimineral. These are useful in expectant ladies. Or products for children's health. We have got the Vita Squares and Vita Guards. Or products which are environmentally safe to use. We have got our cleaning products which are environmentally safe, the LDCs and the cares and so on. So by attending the Thursday training and asking questions when you have them, you get to know what you can recommend for what situation, and that way with time you become more and more progressive. Of course, we don't say that you wait until you know all the products and all the things that you can offer for different products. This is an ongoing thing. Even we, as after all these years in the business, we are still learning, and the company is always providing us with new information. We have new products that keep being added to our lineup of products. So the learning about products is ongoing. And so you should prepare yourself to keep on learning and keep on asking. And then as I move towards finishing this session, a few things to caution us, mistakes that we can make as new distributors and even old distributors. But today, of course, our main attention is to new distributors. And the first thing is something I think I've repeated very many times for those who have been attending for longer, is not to tell lies about our products. We don't make false promises. Okay, this is a very important thing, because as distributors, we are not just there to make a sale. We are there to start a relationship. I have customers who have been with me for most of the years we have been in business. I've had customers who have stayed for years and years. They may not buy many products, but they keep on coming back. Why? Because they trust the relationship that we have had, and they expect that if they ask a question, they'll get the truth as far as we know it. So please, please, please do not give in to the temptation to lie in an effort to try and sell a product here and there. Rather, see the person as a person in need who has come to you because they feel that you can provide them with some help. Okay. So that is the first thing. The second thing that we should not fall into is being too pushy. This is a mistake we make if we don't know how to listen, because a person who knows how to listen does not push. Why? Because when you listen to someone, you will be able to target your answer correctly and your offer correctly. So do not push, rather make an effort to slow down and to listen and to encourage the person to explain further. Then the third thing is avoid exaggerating. Of course, our products are good. They're made to the highest standards. Our company is very conscientious about fulfilling the promises that they make. And so we can speak well about our products and call them world-class products. But we should not exaggerate, for example, saying that, oh, we have found the cure for AIDS, or, oh, we have found the means of, I don't know, curing this cancer or that cancer. No, we should not exaggerate. Our supplements, for example, are very good at providing our bodies with what they need to go through the healing process successfully. Okay, so tell the truth. The truth is always enough. Don't try to add anything to it. Then another thing is to be afraid to ask for more information. I think that sometimes when you're a new distributor, you might feel that if you ask more questions, you may seem as if you don't know what you're doing. Don't have that fear. Simply say, look, I'm going to provide you with more information. I can recommend this because I remember the best doctor that we have ever had for my son was one who was a very young doctor. And she told me on the first day that we went to see her that, you know, I'm not like the old doctors who have all the answers. I'm still very new. And each time I see a new patient, I go back and study so that when I come to see you the next time, I will recommend to you a treatment plan which I've had time to think about and to plan about. It did not make me think that she does not know what she's doing. It made me realize that she is taking our situation seriously and is going to work with us with a plan. So you also as a distributor, I would recommend that whenever because you are new and you may find that sometimes you don't know as much as you would like to know, don't be afraid to say that you're going to provide information later, and then ask from your sponsor, from the people at the distributor service, Paul and Fred and the colleagues there, ask for more information. Okay. So in conclusion, I just want to tell you that in retailing our products, as I've said before, we are starting a relationship with our customers. If we make it a good one, we'll have many long-term customers with ourselves as our number one customer. Of course, we use the products heavily in our home, and we will have customers who will stay with us for the whole time. I hope that this has been useful to you, and I encourage you to feel very happy and ready to build your business, because what you have started as a new Neolife distributor is a service to humanity that is going to make a very positive difference in their lives. So go out there and do not be afraid to be a very good shop window for your Neolife products, because it is going to benefit yourself and all the people whose lives you touch. Okay, thank you very much. Let me hand you back to Pascal so you can go on with the next session.
Good evening again. Now you know how to use products effectively and retail some products. Let's get to a bit about how to build a business. How do you build this business? If you let me go and share my screen. Okay. How do you build your team? Building a team is a very important aspect of our business. I would suggest that you need to follow the 80-20 principle. It's called Pareto principle. That means spend about 20% of your time and effort servicing your customers and 80% building your team. Because if you really want high income in the business, you need to concentrate on building a team. There are 4 steps or 4 aspects of building your team that are very important to master. The first is prospecting. The next is inviting. The third is showing the plan. And the fourth is doing a follow-up. Okay? Now, prospecting. What is prospecting? Prospecting is a process where you elect or eliminate people who are prospects, and you need to differentiate between a suspect and a prospect. A suspect is anybody that you know. A prospect is somebody who has shown an interest that they want to join our business. Okay, so how do you separate between the two? You separate between the two by asking questions. But before you do that, I would recommend that when you're starting this business, you need to have at least 100 names. And when you have 100 names, there are 3 rules that you need to have in mind. Number 1, do not prejudge. Number 2, you need to call people on that list. Number 3, you need to strike them off the list, depending on whether they say yes or no. Okay? So the first thing, do not prejudge. You may never know who would be interested in our business. I remember that when we were new in the business, one of our neighbors, we used to see her and we hesitated to speak to her about the business. We thought, she's working for the United Nations. I don't think she'd be interested in the business. 3 weeks later, we saw that she had been sponsored in the business as a distributor in somebody else's network. Okay? So never prejudge anybody. Whether they have money or not, whether they're young or old, whether they are high-paying job or not, anybody is a prospect in the business until they tell you otherwise. The other thing I would recommend, add 2 names to your list. Why? Because every day you meet new people. You know, if you start the business, within 3 months, if you're consistent in your name list, you'll have exhausted those 100 names. So I would recommend that every day, make an effort to add 2 new names to your list. How do you do that? First, I would recommend have business cards. If you don't have a business card, if you go back to your Neolife back office, click on resources, you will you'll be able to see a template for a business card. For example, the one on the screen on the bottom left corner is one that I got from the resources from the company, and I made business cards for myself and for Betty. So whenever I'm in the bank, in the doctor's place, in the plane, or where I'm working, I always have business cards in my pocket. That gives me an opportunity to exchange cards and get new names. Okay. The next thing is learn to start conversations with people. Use a FORM principle. FORM stands for family, occupation, recreation, and money needs or motivation needs. You see, everybody has a family. Everybody has an occupation. Everybody has a recreation of things they do which is outside their work. And everybody have money needs or have a motivation why they would want to use the products or join our business. And then develop the capacity for listening. You see, the reason why we have 2 ears and 2 eyes and 1 mouth is so that we can listen more and observe more and speak less. The less you speak, the more you're going to attract people to yourself. Because remember, everybody likes to speak about themselves. So if you're talking all the time, then you're going to actually shut out a lot of people who may have been interested in our business. So learn to listen more than you talk. You're going to meet very exciting people. One of the questions that I like to ask people when I meet them is, what do you do? That question you cannot answer yes or no. It's called an open-ended question. An open-ended question is a question you ask that the person requires to explain in the answer. If you ask somebody, do you work? He can answer you yes, and that's the end of the conversation. But if you ask, what do you do? Then they have an obligation to explain what they do, and that starts a very good conversation. So after you determine the prospects, take a book, write the list. The next thing is inviting. We say that inviting is a gateway skill to network marketing. If you want to build a network marketing business, you need to know how to invite people correctly and professionally to see the business. Okay? Practice using the phone. I know sometimes when we have a list and you want to talk to people, we hesitate to call people. Do it anyway. The phone will not bite you. Okay? So practice inviting people on the phone. You can invite them to an event. You can invite it for a one-on-one. You can send them a video, a DVD, a magazine. There are very many ways to invite people. The way I invite people is that always when you call somebody, ask them if they have time to speak to you. For example, if I'm speaking to John, I say, John, this is Pascal. Do you have a moment? They will tell you yes or no. If they have a moment, they'll say, yes, I have a moment. If they don't have, they'll say, no, can you call me in half an hour? What you have shown that prospect is respect for their time. And some people really appreciate that. So ask first if they have a moment to speak to you, then tell them why you are calling them. Okay? Learn to build relationships and address people's needs. The reason why people buy your products is because they have a need. And if you learn how to listen and address that need, a lot of people are going to actually listen to you, to your story. Okay, so learn to listen and learn to build relationship with your people and address people's needs. Just a few comments before we start how to show the plan. If you master the skills of network marketing, it is going to become one of the highest paying careers in the world. I know people who earn a lot of money in this business. Why? Because they have learned the skills of network marketing. Okay, finding prospects, inviting them to see the business. I don't know whether some of you have heard this theory that it takes 10,000 hours to be a master, a world-class master in any field. If you speak to Eliud Kipchoge, if you speak to Serena Williams, if you speak to any of the top athletes or top people in the world, they will tell you that they have practiced for at least 10,000 hours to be a master. I have good news for you. Our business, each of these 7 skills in network marketing takes roughly 20 hours to master. So you don't need 10,000 hours. If you spend 20 hours practicing on the phone, you'll be master at calling. If you take some, in fact, 3 or 4 hours to actually sit down and write a list, you'll be surprised that you can actually write 200 names within 1 hour. But I think sometimes we doubt ourselves or we don't want to actually make the effort. Okay, so practice these skills and you're going to become very good. There's no shortcut to mastery except through practice. Okay, I read this statement some time ago and it really made sense to me. Dig your well before you are thirsty. What does that mean? It means that you need to practice these things so much that when you meet a prospect, you know exactly what to do and what to say. Okay, when you're new in this business, I would recommend that you need to make up in numbers for what you lack in your skills. What does that mean? It means that when you're new, you need to speak to so many people that during that process, you're mastering the skill and you'll come across people who are looking for a business. I know one of our new distributors in Kenya was telling me the other day that she had spoken to 304 people. And I told her, if you continue doing that, in a year's time, you'll be nothing less than a sapphire director. Okay. And then the president's team from, I think from Uganda, she mentioned that when she started, the first month she spoke to 184 people and only 1 person joined. So if you're new in the business, don't worry if a lot of people are saying no. You will find people who say yes. Okay? All right, showing the plan. What are the things you need to do to show the plan? You can show the plan in different ways. You can show the plan digitally, either sending them a video link online or by Zoom. For example, every Monday evening we have a Zoom presentation. The other way you show the plan is doing a one-on-one. I recommend to you that your one-on-one should not take more than 15 minutes. And the reason for that is this. If you spend 2 hours explaining the business to somebody, what sticks in their mind? They think that for me to be able to do this business, I also have to spend 2 hours with every prospect to be able to do your business. And some people come to the conclusion, I can't do this business, which is incorrect. So I would recommend to you that your one-on-one should not take more than 15 minutes. Okay? And during the one-on-one, ask questions to reveal the prospect's need. Why is that important? Because remember, our business should be able to meet the needs of our prospect. If that is not the case, they will not join our business. People want things that can fulfill their needs or requirements. So ask questions to reveal what our prospect actually want. And then tell them what you do. The thing I have found that is very, very powerful in showing this business is learn to tell your story. Your testimony is very, very powerful. And always when I tell people our story, I find that they are actually taken aback at what this business can do. Why is that important? Because the prospect puts themselves in your shoes and imagine that I can also be like this person who is showing me this business. So learn to tell your story. And to tell your story, tell them what you did before you joined Neolife. Then you became an independent network distributor because of what you wanted to fulfill. Then you say, now my income has enabled me to do the same. For example, this is where I would tell my story. My name is Pascal. I'm trained as a civil engineer. Before I joined Neolife, I was working at a civil engineering job and I was constantly stressed. I spent quite a bit of time away from my family and I was not happy with it. And then I came across this business. I became an independent Neolife distributor. And after doing the business for 7 months, I equaled my salary. And when I equaled my salary, I decided I'm going to put more effort into this business because it will make our family better. And as a result of that, we've been able to educate all our 4 children in private schools. That is the way I tell my story. It takes exactly 3 minutes or less. So learn to tell your own story. If you're new in the business, I know a lot of new people tell me, Pascal, I don't have a story. No, everybody has a story. Even if you're new, you might say, look, I have been struggling to earn more money, but now I've just started a business and I think I can earn a lot of money in this business because my mentor or my sponsor, I've seen what the business has done for them and I'm hoping it's going to do the same for me. So whether you're new or not, you always have a story. So learn to tell your story. Okay? And then show the numbers. You see, when you show people the numbers on how this thing can duplicate itself, people actually begin to expand their minds and see what the business can do. For example, show the numbers and the income potential. You and your customers, if you do 100 points, you can earn about $60 per month in terms of profits and bonus. If you get 6 distributors who do 100 points each, you build 700 points, your income is about $100. If you get 6 distributors who do 700 points plus yourself, is 4,300. That's about $800 in income and commission. If you build 3 directors, that's over $1,500 a month. People want to see what the business can do, so learn to show them the numbers, okay? And this should not take you more than 15 minutes. The other way of showing the business is a small group, say 5 to 15 people. You can meet at a home or in an office or in a place where people can congregate. I think at this time of the COVID-19, that is not very easy to do because of different rules in different countries. All right. In South Africa at the moment, it's very hard to do a meeting like this. So most of our meetings are via Zoom. But when you meet people in a small group, do a product demo, show them how the business works and the income potential, and share your stories with a passion. I remember when we started this business, I think Dr. Kingo and his wife will remember this. We went to Lesotho to do this business. And after showing the business, one of my friends called Gitao Mwangi said, you know, Pascal, I'm not joining this business because I understand what you've said. I'm joining this business because you're excited about it. I've never seen you excited about anything. That's the reason why they joined. So I would recommend to you, I see even Joyce is smiling because she knows it's true. I recommend to you that show passion when you're doing this business. You see, if you're not convinced about this business, you will not convince anybody. That is my experience. Some people join the business because they see my conviction and my complete passion about the business. I remember somebody approached me to join, to look at another business. And I looked at it and I told them, look, God showed me Neolife and I will do Neolife to the end of my days. And they never spoke to me about anything else. So if you're passionate about this thing, if you're completely convinced about it, you will convince others. Then the 4th type of presentation is a large meeting where an experienced speaker will present the business. I would recommend arrive early and take a front seat with your guests. Smart casual or formal dress, depending on what the meeting is. Ensure you carry an application form, magazine, brochure, and press list. I will share with you another story. I remember sometime I went to Kenya to do the business, and I was speaking to somebody I met at in a shop. We were buying some tiles, And he asked me what I do. I explained to him, and I could see he was very excited. He wanted to join then. Unfortunately, I did not carry an application form for him to fill. When I came back to him 2 days later, he did not even want to pick my call. So that is a lost chance. I would recommend to you, you always need to be prepared, because some people make a decision on the spot to join the business. So always carry an application form, a magazine, a brochure, a price list. And when somebody has, an experienced person has explained the business, ask your prospect if they want to use your pen or their pen, and ask them when you're going to get the money to get started. I always assume that my prospects want to join the business. I rarely ask my prospect what they think. I ask them, what did you like most about the business? Did the business make sense? The reason I ask those questions is I want to elicit a positive response from them. That's why I don't ask, what do you think? I ask them, did the business make sense? 2, what did you like most about the business? So they're going to answer the question I have asked. Okay, so learn to ask the correct question so that your prospects can actually answer positively. Then the next thing is at the bottom left corner of the screen, you will see fortune is in the follow-up. You see, after you've shown the business, it's very, very important to do a follow-up. I was reading some statistics about 3 months ago, and I was quite really taken aback. 48% of distributors around the world do not follow up with their prospects after this first presentation. I find this quite shocking. 25 make the second contact. That's already 73%. 12 make the third contact. That's 86%. So it means only about 14% of distributors follow up more than 3 times. And this is where we lose prospect. This is where we lose money. 80% of sales or distributors who join the business join after you followed it up between 5 to 12 times. Some of my prospects know that I don't stop calling. I keep calling until they told me, Pascal, you're bothering me. Don't call me again. Then I stop. But I never stop calling people if they're still undecided. Because every time I call, I ask them a question, have you made up your mind? Or is there any information you need? Or do you think there's something that you need for me to explain? There's a very subtle difference between being pushy and being persistent. Persistent means that you call the person to ask if they've made up their mind or they need more information. Okay? Being pushy is calling them all the time and sounding rather impolite or aggressive. Now, there's a subtle difference. It requires you to think carefully when you're following up with your prospect. Okay? What I normally do is I keep sending them information. If there are any meetings, I keep sending invitations for them to join. The follow-up should be immediate, persistent, consistent, and enthusiastic. Why is this important? So that the person you're dealing with actually knows that you're serious about life. You see, if you show the business to somebody once and then you don't show up, that person may have been, the situation in their life may have changed, that they may want to join the business, but because you didn't follow up, they will not join your business. So I would recommend that you need to follow up immediately, enthusiastically, persistently, and consistent. If I show you the business today, tomorrow morning or mid-morning, I'm going to call you to ask you what you think. Okay? 48 hours or 24 hours should not pass before you follow up with your prospect. So make follow-up very, very important, because that's where your fortune lies. And there's a way to follow up. I call them the 4 questions to closing. And these questions have been thought through very carefully, because the people who devised this system studied the human mind and found that these questions open people's mind to actually see what the business is. The first question is, did the business make sense? If the business doesn't make sense to the prospect, they are likely to tell you, no, I don't understand what's going on. Okay, so ask, did the business make sense? Number two, what did you like most about the business? Why are we asking this? We're asking this question because we want them to tell us what they like. We don't want to ask them we don't want them to tell us what they dislike. We want them to tell us what they like. Okay, so ask the question, what did you like most about the business? The next question is, do you see an opportunity for you to fulfill your dreams, make money, have a better life, achieve your goals? This question is there to make sure that the reason why they're looking at the business stays at the top of their mind. Once they answer yes to this question, then go to the last part, is do the paperwork. Get them to get started in the business. After each question, wait for your prospect to respond and answer the queries appropriately. So this follow-up is very, very important. And if you master these 4 questions, you'll find that your closing ratio begins to increase. Okay. And the other thing I would like to show you, those who are new, I would like to show you how to take your steps. Just one moment. Okay. This is the steps. If you are new in the business, you start as a distributor. The next step is for you to become a manager. How do you become a manager? You become a manager in 2 ways. Either you do 250 personal points, 250 personal PV, or you do 100 PV yourself and your group will do 500 PV. You become a manager. The next step is to become a senior manager. To become a senior manager, you do 500 personal PV, or you do 100 PV on your own and 1000 PV with your group. Then you become a senior manager. From there, the next step is to become a director. There are actually 2 ways to become a director. The first one is every month you need at least 100 points. All distributors know that. After that, after the month you become a senior manager, you need to accumulate 10,000 PV in a period of 6 months or less. And in the last month, you do 4,000 PV. That is a way to become a director. But there's another one which is called a fast track to director. When you start the business and you do 250 points personally, anytime after that you accumulate 4,000 points with your group, you become a director. But you always need to have 250 PV in your personal name to be in this program, the fast track to director program. Okay? So you can become a director in 2 ways. Either accumulate 10,000 points in 3 to 6 months, and the last month you do 4,000 group PV, or you do 250, and then you accumulate 4,000. Any month that you accumulate 4,000 after that, with at least 250 points in your name, you become a director. But why do you become a director? You become a director because you want to build a team. You want to build a structure. I will share with you something that I came across that I found very, very exciting. This is called the 622 plan. You see, why do we sponsor people? We sponsor people because we want to build a director leg. How do you build a director leg? The simplest way to build a director leg is to make sure that the people who are under you also know how to do it. And what I found about the 622 plan is that it makes it easy for you to get to director pretty fast. Let me share with you this slide at the top, this one. You notice that when we do our presentations every Monday, we say that the first thing you need to do is sponsor 6 people very, very quickly. Why do you need to sponsor 6? You need to sponsor 6 so that you can help these 6 people to start becoming senior managers. Because remember, if you have 6 senior managers under you, the possibility of becoming a director is very, very high. So we recommend that sponsor 6 people as soon as possible, but help these 6 people to sponsor 2 each, and those 2 to sponsor 2 each. That is why it's called a 6-2-2 plan. And the best way to do this is have this chart on your wall. I'm going to send this document to your leaders. Have this chart because it helps you to track how the people you sponsored in the business are growing in the business. Because I have found that one of the reasons why people give up in the business is because they work for 3, 4, 5 months and they don't see anything happen in their lives and they give up. So one of the most effective ways to help people to grow in the business and they start seeing success very quickly is when they join the business as a sponsor, help them to sponsor 6 people as soon as possible. Okay, go with them with their name list, talk to their prospects on their behalf until they sponsor 6 people. When they sponsor 6 people, then help each of these 6 to sponsor 2 each, and those 2 to sponsor 2 each. It takes a bit of time, but if you pay attention to it, you will find that each of their leg grows very, very strong as a director leg. But you see, it's not easy to follow this. That's what the next chart will help you to do. You see at the chart, you have a checklist of you, then leg 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Make sure that each of these legs, each person you've sponsored has a dream chart and a self-talk. Why? Because they need to condition their mind for success. All right? So let them have a dream chart and a self-talk. Number 2, let them have a business folder or a demo kit. Let them have tools and information that they need to show the business to their people. And then teach them how to do at least 150 PV. I think Betty did a very good session with you to give you the essential things to be able to reach at least 150 PV with your group or with personal PV. So if each of your 6 legs, each person is doing between 150 and 200 PV, you notice that that is a senior manager volume. Okay? Use of cleaning products, use of nutritional supplements, use of personal care products, and then check that your people are actually attending functions and events. You see, for me and Betty, the pin dropped for us when we attended the Free Enterprise Weekend Rally in Bloemfontein, I think 3 months after we joined the business. That is where the turning point of our business is, because the event is where people make decisions. Okay? I would recommend those of you who are not Eagle Team members, I would recommend that you register to become. In fact, just go to Telegram, download Telegram on your phone. You will find something called the Eagle Team Resources. You'll get fantastic training material on that resource. Then spend time in personal development. This name list helps you to track how each of your legs are growing. And at the bottom there, you see business tracker. You can track the target and the actual, target and the actual, target and the actual. If you follow this simple system, you will find that you're able to actually check how your group is growing. If you're part-time, you can build 3 legs effectively in a year. And you know that if you build 3 legs in a year, that's a 1 Ruby structure. If you're full-time, you can build between 5 to 6 legs at any one time. That means you can actually get to PT between 12 and 18 months. All right? And the reason why this is important is so that you can actually track how your business is growing. If you follow these simple steps or simple procedures, your business will grow and you'll actually be able to find that each leg that you build properly, you will have at least 3 to 4 leaders who grow in those legs. If you have 4 directors in each leg, then you don't have to worry about your legs qualifying. They will always qualify every month. And that means that you have learned how to build a team or a network. Okay? So that is the last session I wanted to share with you. before we go to questions and answers, there's something I wanted. Okay, I think we can, Paul, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, Pascal.
Yes, I think we can, just one moment. I'll stop sharing. If there are any questions, I'm sure we've had, I don't know for how long we've been going, just 1 hour and 15 minutes. If there are any people with questions, they can ask.
Okay, I can see we really have a lot of questions, especially on products. I'm not sure whether Betty was noting some of the questions. There are really many, but I've been able to save the chat. So even if we don't finish them today, we can be able to pick them up next week.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
Okay, as last week, some people asked questions that Betty had prepared for, so I think Betty can answer those questions. If there are others, we're going to write them down. If some we can answer now, we will be able to answer. If not, we'll answer the next time.
Thank you, Pascal and Betty. Betty, you can go ahead.
Hi again. So last time we had a number of questions. I'll see if I can run quickly through them. The first one was someone who wanted us to talk a little bit about asthma. And maybe for a bit of information, it's characterized by the breathing system being affected, and a person can have attacks. It can come from allergens and pollutants or cold weather. So a lifestyle start is to check what maybe can cause the allergic reaction. So it's good to let people have some of this information. If it's something they can avoid, then the best thing to do is avoid it. Let's say it's a pollutant or it's an allergen that they are able to avoid. Of course, not everything can be avoided. Then if we look on the Neolife side, we can recommend Pro-Vitality. It's useful because it has got carotenoid complex for antioxidant. It has omega-3 to fight the inflammation. And with the second product after Pro-Vitality is Herbal Respiratory Complex, which settles down the overreaction of the respiratory system. Then someone else asked about sickle cell anemia. Here again, as I mentioned before, we have experience with this because of our son. The first thing to notice is that they should not receive an iron supplement because they are not, the anemia is not because of lack of iron. And so the most important supplement for someone with sickle cell is vitamin B complex, because it helps in the making of blood and it also helps in energy production. Then the second product they can have is Pro-Vitality. And you can see one of the benefits of Pro-Vitality is that it does not contain iron. So for that reason, it's safe, especially for males, grown-up males. And then a third product for sickle cell will be flavonoid complex, which helps to dilate the blood vessels and also in repairing blood vessels, because when they have those attacks of sickle cell, there's a lot of damage to the blood vessels. So flavonoid complex really helps there. And they can also, if they want to get a fourth product, lipotropic adjunct is also a good product to add. Yeah. Then someone asked about skin warts. And that one is caused by viruses. I just wanted to mention it's caused by a common virus called the human papilloma virus. And it's communicable through skin-to-skin contact. So it's good to know that the warts can be spread. And on the side of Neolife, the person can use Pro-Vitality to boost the immunity, because the body can then fight the virus and settle over time, the warts will resolve on their own. And also garlic allium complex, so two products there. A home remedy that people use for the warts themselves is to rub a piece of raw garlic on the warts 2 times a day. Some people get results with that for the warts. It takes about 2 weeks to 1 month for the warts to disappear if you use the raw garlic. But for the supplements is Pro-Vitality, because of course if you are under this attack, it's good to boost your immune system. Then another question was about stroke. And strokes occur because of blood clots that block blood vessels in the brain. And it can be because either a blood vessel has been blocked by a clot, or it is leaking and the leak is causing the clots. So some of the causes that are associated with strokes are smoking, cigarette smoking. So we should quit and caution people. And then another association is with diabetes. Some of it is also, it can run in families, that some families tend towards having strokes, especially as they get older. People with sickle cell also can have strokes, by the way. And high blood pressure is also associated with strokes. So on the side of Neolife, we have got products that we can recommend. Number one is lipotropic adjunct, which improves the quality of the blood. And then vitamin E. You remember that we can use vitamin E, and we can also use wheat germ complex. The wheat germ, it's called wheat germ. Wheat germ oil, because wheat germ oil has got a wide range of the vitamin E compounds. So it can either be vitamin E or wheat germ. And the third one is Pro-Vitality, which has got an overall benefit. Okay. Then there was another question of about pancreatitis, which is the inflammation of the pancreas. And we know the pancreas is involved in regulating sugar in the body. It's important for sugar regulation. And sometimes it can become blocked by gallstones, which could be what is at the bottom of the problem. And is associated with also excessive intake of alcohol, and also sometimes it runs in families. So one of the lifestyle things that we can recommend is to reduce or eliminate fried foods, sugar, and refined carbohydrates from the diet, and increase green vegetables, as well as good carbohydrates. Remember, we're always talking about the good carbohydrates, things like sweet potatoes, arrowroots, cassavas, yam, the more natural and refined carbohydrates, in place of the more refined ones like white wheat flour, breads, and so on, biscuits and all that lot. Should be replaced with better qualities of carbohydrates. And from the Neolife side for pancreatitis, we recommend Betagard to help in detoxing the system. And it will also help in resolving the gallstones if they are there. Omega-3 salmon oil will help to fight the inflammation. And then also multimineral alfalfa will also be helpful. There are some products which, some questions which I was not quite sure what the question was. Someone asked questions about nerves. So if the person is listening, please clarify a bit what you are asking about nerves. And then another question was about excessive drooling in, I think it was babies. And there again, the only thing I could comment about the drooling was it's normal in babies, but after age 3 to 4 years, it would help to see a doctor in case there's an underlying problem, like related to nerve damage or developmental problems in the baby. So with the excessive drooling, I was not sure exactly what the age was and what to say. And also the one about nerves, I think maybe clarify the question by speaking to the person concerned, so that you can give me a bit more information. So I think those are the questions that I carried from last week. And I don't know what questions do we have. Do we have time? 23 past. Paul, how are we doing for time?
I think we We passed our time by about 24 minutes.
Okay, all right. So
So
let me wish you a very good evening
sure.
and to thank you very much for joining us. And please don't be discouraged to send the questions. Please send them. We are always happy to help where we can. And just to encourage you that what we are doing is making a positive difference in people's lives. And it's a way in which we make money and fulfill our dreams, as Pascal was telling you. But at the same time, we spread the happiness that we have to others. So well done and keep on going, and let's make this month even better than last month. All right. Okay.
Hi, Paul. I don't know whether you've written some of the questions people have asked.
Yes, I'm writing quite a number of them.
Okay. I see somebody asking a question. 6-year-old child who cannot sit or walk. Okay. Paul, I think just write as much as you can.
Yes.
I'm checking some of the questions on the chat.
And it's quite commendable. I've been able to see quite a number of distributors trying to contribute on the questions, including Dr. Nabasi. So thank you so much. So some of the questions might have been answered by other distributors who are on this call today. So, but I'll be able to pick as many as possible so that we can be able to go through them the next time.
Okay. I see a distributor has asked something which is business related. Thomas Ogogo, starting from 0 every month. What does that mean? Well, you see, every month after the company closes business, the sales of that month, the bonuses are paid. The next month we start from 0. But remember, because we are recruiting new people, the volume of business keeps increasing every month. That's why you sponsor people in the business. Okay. Yeah, I think that there are very many questions. I've written some of them, some that I can't write. I think Paul is going to send us some information so that we can answer the question during the next training. I think, Paul, I would like to close the meeting.
Sure, go ahead.
Unless you have anything else.
No, I have nothing, Pascal. Go ahead and close the meeting. Thank you so much.
Okay, just one moment. The thing I wanted to mention as we close the meeting is this. You know, today I was when I was running, I was thinking about this business, and I think there's a very beautiful dance in our business between brotherhood, sisterhood in the business, and also competition. What do I mean by brotherhood, sisterhood? Is that people are willing to go to extraordinary lengths to help people who are not even in their downline. Or if there are people in their downline, they help as much as they can, which shows really a camaraderie and brotherhood or sisterhood in the business. But at the same time, there is competition. And when I mean competition, there's a competition with yourself so that you can be the best that you can be in this business. So I like this beautiful dance between brotherhood, sisterhood versus competition in our business. For example, I know the people from Tanzania or Nigeria knows that we are competing against them. The largest market we have in Africa is Nigeria, and we keep telling Nigeria that we are coming. This is positive competition. but also we help one another to grow in the business. So I like this dance between brotherhood, sisterhood, and competition in the business because it's all positive. It helps us grow our business. And if you want to grow in the business, know one thing: the more you give, the more you will receive. If you give one, you'll get back 100-fold, whether it's positive or negative. You cannot violate that basic law of life. Whatever you give comes back 100-fold. So I want to wish all of you a very good month, and hope you're going to reach your target of sponsoring new people and taking your next step. So Paul, back to you.